The Twins dropped 4 of 5 in Detroit today. It is a blown lead late. Let's break it down on today's Locked On Twins postcast.
You are Locked On Twins postcast, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota, your team every day.
And welcome to another edition of our Locked On Twins postcast. Today is Thursday, June 2nd. I'm the host of Locked On Twins, Nash Walker, here with writer and reporter at Access Twins, Brandon Warren. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing the only brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Head to rockauto.com. Tell them Locked On sent you. Brandon, Twins blow a lead today. After many weeks of finding ways to win, they've certainly found ways to lose in the last couple of days and in this Detroit series.
Yeah, and in my estimation, and I know I'm catching a lot of heat on it on Twitter right now, they managed it the way they had to. You cannot try to wring anything else out of Chris Archer. I don't care that he had 57 pitches or whatever it was. He has not faced a lineup the third time this year outside of like 4 plate appearances. And if it was like a double, 2 walks, and 1 out recorded. So, yeah, again, people are acting like the sky is falling and all that. Sure, it's not ideal to lose 4 of 5 to Detroit, but the way baseball works is the Twins are going to come back and take 2 of 3 from Toronto, and everything's going to be fine again. We have to have our post-game freak out and relitigate every single decision that in the minds of fans did not work. But it's baseball. You know, it happens. These things happen. We don't need to live and die with every single game.
Anthony says, the world is coming crashing down around us. There is no hope. Only the haul we get for Correa will make me feel better. So, yes, some Twins fans feeling that way, Brandon. They're 30-23, dropped 4 of 5. I think my feeling is I would feel much better if they were healthy or if we knew that they weren't going to be missing several guys in Toronto. I think that's the concern now. You have 9 straight games against the Blue Jays, the Yankees. You're going to see Cortez, Cole, and Severino, I believe, is the lineup for the Yanks, and you'll see Kikuchi and Gausman and Barrios this weekend, and then the Rays. So it's not for me as much like losing 4 out of 5. I'm more concerned about like looking forward at the next week and a half.
Yeah, and that's perfectly reasonable. You know, every good team has these stretches, though, and I'm going to keep hammering that. Look at where the Braves were in July last year, June last year, and then they go trade for 2 outfielders nobody even really wanted in Eddie Rosario and Jorge Soler. They turn it on, they win the World Series. So that's not to say the Twins are going to win the World Series, and I know people are going to take that out of context. But again, you know, maybe you go in and face these West teams and you take 6 or 7 of 9, or even 5 and 4 is, you know, it's a great stretch against teams that are pretty good. You got to get healthy, though. We all know they have to get healthy. It should be more, I think, encouraging that they've played the way they have, in large part due to, at least it seems like, the fact that they haven't been healthy. And so I'm trying not to rush to judgment. You know, everything was wrong today. Luis Arraez, for crying out loud, was 0 for 5. That should tell you something.
So the Twins had this 15-game stretch. It's over now with the Royals and Tigers. They went 8-7. I mean, we were hoping for 10-5, maybe 9-6, but instead it's 8-7. And they built some insurance starting 5-0, but since that 5-0 start, Brandon, they went 3-7. That's you can look at it in a couple of different ways. They didn't take advantage fully of this stretch.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's wrong to be frustrated by that. And I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about the fan base at large. It's certainly reasonable to be frustrated to only win 8 of 15 against the bottom feeders in this division, because you're feeding their ascent back up the standings, and you're also hoping that the White Sox keep playing the way they have to this point in the season. You need to take care of things that are in your control, and the Twins didn't do that. That's perfectly reasonable. It's just the whole sky is falling thing to me that's like, you know, they're still 7 games over 500. They're still over 500 on the road. They've still done a lot of things that you need to do to win baseball games. And I I still believe in this team. Is it less than it was a week ago? Maybe a little, but I still believe in this team.
Let's talk about that decision a little bit more. Chris Archer goes 5, probably his best outing of the season in Detroit today. Lineup was coming up for a third time at the top of the order. Rocco goes to Duran. Duran throws 2 scoreless innings, great innings. I mean, he's been doing it all year for them. And then Pagán in the 8th. What did you think of that order? Would you have gone to somebody else in the 8th, set up for Pagán in the 9th? It was 7, 8, 9 in the Tigers order. I mean, Daz Cameron is not somebody you're worried about. He came into this game with a sub 500 OPS on the season. So it's just kind of one of those things.
Even after the home run, Cameron is slashing 195, 283, 293. You know, when you talk about the guys that you don't want to let beat you, the number 9 hitter on a team that was 10 games under 500 coming into the day is pretty high on that list. The usage of Duran to me was not only good, it was perfect. Archer has been bad. He's been very bad. So to take what you got from him, 5 and dive and run, is perfect, because 1 through 6 is the exact 6 hitters you would want Jhoan Duran to face. He mowed them down, had no problem, probably doesn't even need to take a shower. And so then you have to trust someone else to take care of it from there. Why don't you want to save Duran to the 8th and the 9th? I'm going to repeat it, and we're going to modify it so that we can use it over and over again. You can't win the game in the middle innings, but you can definitely lose it. And that's what the Twins were trying to mitigate against. Now, personally, I'd have gone Griffin Jacks for the 8th and the 9th. But the reason I'm not throwing my hat or freaking out is because maybe he gives up a homer too. He certainly has done that in the past. Or maybe he, came in and was a little sore today. A lot of things we don't know. The bullpen up, down guys, who's green, who's red, we don't know that. So based on what Rocco had for information and based on what I have for information, the 6th and the 7th were fine. I'm not an Emilio Pagán guy right now. I'd have gone somewhere else. But 6th and 7th were perfectly fine to me.
The 8th inning did not sparkle for the Twins, but you can make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement. Use code Locked On. That's code Locked On Plus. Every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever peace. Go to BlueNile.com today. Nick Gordon had a hell of a game, Brandon. Give him some credit. Archer was good. Yohan was good. But this offense overall, I mean, they had opportunities to bust this thing open. You just had a feeling Detroit hanging around. They have a very good bullpen. The offense kind of let Alex Faedo off the hook outside of Nick Gordon.
Yeah, he didn't look great. I thought he was fine. He was pretty good, but he wasn't like dominating, and they didn't make a lot of loud contact. That was another thing too. Somebody sent me the StatCast / Baseball Savant stuff for the game, and the expected batting average on each side, the Tigers were way, way, way further up there than the Twins. And so Chris Archer was probably getting fortunate giving up some loud contact, because I saw 5 batted balls of 100 miles per hour or higher. So again, the Twins did not take advantage. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And the Tigers were 1 for 3. That speaks more to the fact that the Twins just didn't allow base runners into scoring position. But again, I have no problem with the process. The results stink, suck, whatever your preferred way of saying it is. But again, it's baseball. In 162, you're going to have stretches where you're going to see games slip out of your grasp. It doesn't mean you're a bad team. Doesn't mean you made the wrong decisions. It means that on every single day, in every single game, and even in sometimes every single plate appearance, someone wins and someone loses because someone does their job better than the person who did the job on the other side.
It feels like this bullpen is it's an arm short in the back end. I mean, it's Emilio Pagán giving up homers. He's formed his way out of trouble, has pitched well at points, pitched very well his last time out against Detroit. But giving up too many homers, and that's something that they need to figure out with him. We'll find out soon, Brandon, who will not be joining the team in Toronto. It's important. I mean, it's important to know the Twins are down Sonny Grays on the 50-day injured list. Joe Ryan not making the trip. So it's important to know who's available, who's not for that trip in Toronto. Hopefully the things turn around for the Twins very soon here. Brandon, thank you so much, sir. We'll be back soon. Like, subscribe, comment, Locked On Sports Minnesota. Thanks for joining us as always. Thanks for the comments, and we will